Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Ishvaro Guratmeti Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sava Vedanta Sedanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satiguru Pranatoshmaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. I need to warm up my vocal cords. I was not so well there in Brasilia. I was having a little uh, throat, sore throat, we say in English, no? And okay, so let's go to page 230, 230. Gaudapadacharya was summarizing or reviewing the primary teaching of the previous chapter, which is that we should accept the appearance and the stage of experience with the potential for understanding, asserting some utilitarian values of these Namarupas projected by Maya, but we need to refuse the fact that it's real and it was created or originated by something, some Brahman or Ishwara or Maya or whatever. So, but he says that Jiva is part of the creation. Therefore, this Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara is something good to begin with. Initially, it must be accepted. And then if there is Ishvara, the creator, and then, of course, there is the creation. And we take it to be somewhat real at the beginning of this spiritual process. So, and then we follow Karma Yoga and so on. And then we develop certain qualifications that allow us to go into the Yana Yoga, meaning to say Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Yeah. So it's the usual Ajaropa Apavada. So we use certain concepts which serves certain purpose at the beginning. Later on, we leave them behind with gratitude. We don't need to, leave them behind like, upset or offended, and so. So the creation we accept initially should be negated finally enough when we come to this level of Vedantic inquiry into the nature of the self. Otherwise, self-knowledge is not possible. The process is not complete. Once sadhana is incomplete, we need to let go of the triangular format and then to go into the binary mode, satya, mithya, I am consciousness, everything is just appearing within me, either, as a construct, either reflecting my mirror-like conscious prakriti produced by Maya, or just project upon me consciousness through, with the help of the fine prakriti provided by Maya. Therefore, Shriti Nisheda Jati was reinforced. Vedanta uses these words very often. Mithya, this is a mithya world, mithya reality, and mithya is that which is not sat, is not a sat, it is mithya. It's not totally real, it's not totally unreal, It's not real existing, and it's not really non-existing. It exists, but it's not real. It is meteor, it is an appearance or a superimposition of nama-rupas is a good way to construct it, to have a clear understanding of what we have been living in as a body-mind-sense complex. It was never created, as we know. It was never originated because we create things. Things are created within meteor. Human beings create things. And they create in a linear time. But in the case of the creation, howsoever you want to see, we look into several theories that say that it was linearly created or it was cyclically created, but none of those creation theories stands the scrutiny of the Vedantic inquiry. If you accept the origination or creation of the universe, and then you are hooked with the world, you are hooked within the creation, and you're gonna need God to favor and protect you and to give you punya. Punya in whatsoever level you enjoy punya, material level or spiritual level. But even a spiritual level, punya is not going to free anybody because it is impermanent. So with the intention to establish the no origination, no creation of the universe, Gaudapada refused several theories. The first one he refused was that Brahman could not be the cause of the creation. Brahman has to create a world. Brahman requires material, raw material. So we see the scope of this materiality, the appearance jiva creates within this materiality, but we cannot create things without raw material. So, and we need the know-how as well. So he established here that actually Brahman does not have the material, and it's not the material cause. The raw material is not possible because Brahman is one without a second, as we know. And also because Brahman is being akarta, he cannot do anything in order to produce anything. So for whatsoever angle we look, Brahman has no intention, desire to create or do anything. And therefore, there is no question of intelligence to create anything. So Brahman is not an intelligent entity. Brahman is just Sat Chit, is the consciousness that somehow concedes human intelligence and intelligence to other creatures, even in our planet. And but it's not an intelligent or knowing creature. It's beyond knowledge and ignorance. It's just the existence which intrinsically contains consciousness, meaning to say it's a conscious existence. There is no raw material because the Brahman, Brahman is one without a second. If Brahman would use itself as the material, raw material, it does not make any sense. Because raw material, you need diversity of substance or things, you need several things to create a universe, just especially a universe with such a degree of diversity and plurality of attributes. Brahman could not create it out of itself because Brahman does not have any attributes. How he would project a world which is formed by infinite numbers of attributes? So it did not serve as raw material. Brahman, if he would serve as raw material, Brahman would do something which is impossible. Brahman would become something, it would change. And we also know that Brahman is nirvikara. He does not change, does not do anything, does not have raw material, and it's beyond the knowledge that allows human beings to create things in this meteor world. Brahman cannot go change. So therefore, this theory was easily negated. thereafter, Asat Karyavada was negated. Gaudapada does not discuss much of this one because he says that it's the non-existent thing can never become existing. It is a contradiction, and it defies the law of conservation of matter and energy. So therefore, out of non-existence, nothing can come. And if you take non-existence to be the prakriti, or something on those terms, energy, people a lot of the time they consider asat the invisible world of very fine energies. But that is not a good definition of Brahman, because Brahman is not matter, and it's not subtle matter or super subtle matter. When we say that Brahman is the more subtle of the subtle, we don't mean to say that Brahman is subtle energy. No. Subtle energy is the prakriti of Maya, on which Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas emerge. So therefore, this Asat Karyavada was easily negated. Then we saw the negation. And in this 4 verse in the last class, we saw that according to Sat Karyavada, nothing new can be created, but still the creation is possible figuratively. When a thing is transformed into another, the transformation is figuratively called creation. When milk is transformed into yogurt, it can be said that yogurt has been made, but it only was transformed into yogurt. The milk was transformed. So when we talk in terms of creation, the first thing is to stop using this expression creation. Gaudapada used origination, which is a better word. So the best way, a better word is the word was projected, because it gives us the impression that it's a holograph kind of projection. Okay, and then there is this other expression that the universe was transformed from the subtle prakriti of Maya into all the namarupas of the universe. Okay, transformation, apparent transformation is a better word than apparent creation. It's easier for us to understand projection and transformation when we say creation, and then it's more difficult to establish that it is a false creation. But we see that things are projected, and we see that things can be transformed. But even transformation of the Prakriti of Maya into the universe represents a lot of problems as a theory. It does not stand its truth. Because when we transform something like X into Y, Gaudapada answers that this Vada is accepted only in the respect of creation of things in the universe. In the universe, we know we get milk, we transform into curd. Okay, but in the case of Brahman or the Prakriti of Maya, so it does not stand. Okay, and why? It's perfectly logically when we talk about creating curd out of milk, or a chair, a wooden chair out of wood. But when we talk about creating the cosmos or the universe, the question is of what is the cause of the entire cosmos come up? What is the cause? So what is the real cause? Because the cosmos is huge, and it has all possible properties and attributes among its namarupas. So what would be the cause? What is the material cause of this universe? Sat Karyavad says that Prakriti, the famous Prakriti of Maya, is the cause of this universe. The universe, Prapancha, is the product. Prakriti evolves or transforms itself into the cosmos. Prakriti's evolution is another word. Evolution, apparent evolution or apparent transformation. or apparent manifestation is prapancha, is the universe. Gaudapada asks, where did Prakriti come from? So this Prakriti of Maya, it must have had a cause. So it must be an effect. If it's the cause of the universe, no? It must be an effect of a previous cause, because nothing comes from nothing, as we have established following the logic of Gaudapada. The Satkarya describes the nature of Prakriti as beginningless and permanent, eternal and permanent. So how can something be eternal and permanent as the cause of the universe without ever being caused? So, and then it's good to remember that many times we say, when we attribute the creation of the universe to Brahman or Ishwara, we say that Ishwara or Brahman is a causeless cause, meaning to say, no, it's a cause, but nothing has caused it. It was not an effect of anything else. We say that. Now, Prakriti was not caused. It's always there as a potential. And therefore, scriptures say that it is anadi, beginningless, and nitya, eternal, permanent. According to Shankya vision, Prakriti is anad and nitya. This is statement number one. The next statement that Prakriti evolves into the universe, Gaudapada says that these two statements are logical contradictions. One is to say that it's eternal, and it is saying without beginning, beginningless and eternal. What is anad and nitya cannot undergo change, because what is eternal is not subject to the influence of time. So how can Prakriti to go and to be transformed or evolve into the universe if Prakriti is eternal? That which is eternal cannot undergo change, cannot be subject to the influence of time. Influence of time is change, okay? So it is beginningless and it's eternal. Something eternal cannot change to become, cannot transform to become the universe. So Prakriti, which is another nitya, cannot undergo change. The second statement that the changeless Prakriti changes into prapancha is an open contradiction. Let's say that wood changes into becoming a wooden chair. This is acceptable because wood is the subject, is subject to change, we know. Similarly, gold change into ornaments and milk change into curd are acceptable. But Prakriti change into prapancha is not accepted, because according to the very darshana or vision of Shankya, Prakriti is changeless when it says that Prakriti is anadi and nityam. We are saying indirectly that it is changeless, beginningless and changeless. Therefore, Satkaryavada works only at the level of human jivas creating things out of raw materials. It's only the micro human level, not in the macro level. And then Swami says something here without elaborating. Say many scientific theories fail at the macro level, and some others, many other theories fails into the micro level. Interesting. I would like to hear some examples coming from him. Some more examples. Gaudapada has refuted these theories. The Brahma Karyavada of the Dvaitins, Brahma Karyavada, and Asati Karyavada, and Sat Karyavada of the Shankya Yoga. Now we have to do some more intellectual work here. What is the next one? It's from the verse 14. There will be a lot of strange verse. We're going to need the help of Swami Ji to put together to make sense to them. We are not going to look them isolated because they are confusing, they are intriguing, they are enigmatic, and so on. In this verse, Hitu and Palan are repeated many times. So let's see what he means by that. Now, verse 14. Some hold that the effect is the origin of the cause, and the cause is the origin of the effect. How can beginningless of the cause and effect be accepted by them? So how these people are going to accept the fact that the beginningless nature of the cause and the beginningless nature of the effect, okay, can change, can swap, you know? One becomes the cause and one becomes the effect. Some hold that the effect is the cause, origin of the cause. So curd became milk became curd, and then if curd could become, let's go for a simple example. The seed becomes the seed is an effect of the tree. The effect is the beginning of the tree, and of the cause, and the cause, which is the tree, is the origin of the effect. So something on those lines, okay? So this statement offers some contradiction in the sense that logically we cannot accept something that is undefined. What came first, the seed or the tree, the egg or the chicken? So when we look into our chickens, my chickens here and the eggs, so that should be enough demonstration that this creation is not logically acceptable, because we look at things and say, so we can't establish by logic whether the egg came first or the chicken, whether the tree or the seeds. So, and that's what Gadapada is going to say as well. So it cannot be real because logically you cannot take something like that as real. You understand? The seed of the universe, the seed being Prakriti and the universe being all the Namarupas, it can only be a projection or a mirage of some sort. The following verse, some hold that the fact is the origin of the cause, and the cause is the origin of the fact, the same thing, the same principle. For then, because first he was only saying from one side. Now, some hold that the effect now became the cause, and the cause is the origin of the effect. So for them, the birth will be exactly like the birth of the father out of a son. So the birth will be exactly, the creation will be exactly like the creation of a father out of a son. So the son was born, and then immediately within the son, there is the birth of the potential father, because the son will become a father unless the son does not become a father. Okay. If the origin of the cause and the fact, the birth of the cause and the birth of the fact, we need to say the origin of the cause and the origin of the fact, except their order has to be found out by you. You need to find out. So, okay, I accept both. Both are simultaneously, they are cause and they are effect, and then we need to find an order. What came first, the egg or the chicken, the seed or the tree? If the creation is simultaneous, the seed becomes a tree and the tree becomes a seed, there will be no cause-effect relationship. Because in my own experience of Vedanta and sharing this knowledge, I was confronted with this situation in which I say, so it's there is no absolute cause, there is no absolute effect. A cause becomes effect becomes a cause, and it goes on exactly like a father becomes a son, the son becomes a father. Yeah? And then, but then the question is, okay, that's fair enough, but who came first? And then my question was like, they came out together. Poof, you know, they came up together. And then here Gaudapada says that you have to have an order of which one came first. If you say that they came together, and then there is no cause and effect because they came together. One did not cause the other. Okay, Ishwara, Brahma, Prakriti create the seed and the tree. Pa, and then we can never establish whether the seed is a cause of the tree and the tree is a cause of the seed. Right?
In which case, it has to be a projection, yeah?
Yes. I mean, all of that is leading us to the understanding that there is no logic to support the reality of this phenomenal world, which is a projection. You understand? It works, it serves as appearance and gives us the ground for experiencing it and establishing and gain some value, being the self-knowledge, the ultimate gain, which requires the development of the most important value, which is preparedness for self-knowledge. So, but we can never take it for real from the standpoint of pure logic, because, you know, if we say that there is a cause and effect relationship between the tree and the seed, and then if we cannot establish which one came first, and then there is no cause and effect relationship because they were created first together simultaneously, no? Being born out of the fact, your cause itself is not established first. How will a cause which itself is not established produce an effect? So being born of the effect brought the effect which was the son, gave birth to the father. So, and then the effect is there, and the cause itself cannot be established first. How will a cause with which itself is not established produce an effect? So if we say that everything becomes with the fact and the seed is the effect, and then we have to say, what was the cause of the seed? So being born out of the fact, seed. So the cause itself is not established, the cause for the seed. How will a cause which is not established produce the seed, the effect? Suppose the birth of a cause, the origination, the birth, the origination of a cause is from the effect of the origination of the effect. And the birth, the origination effect is from the cause. Which one is born first, depending on which is the origination of the other. So more of the same logic. Your inability to reply solid answers to these questions amounts to ignorance or even worse, violation of the order. Thus, birthlessness is revealed by these thinkers by all means. So he says like that he's challenging all these philosophers and their theories with all these questions. And then he says, you see, so you're all quiet. You cannot provide me with any valid reply to this challenge. This amounts to ignorance or even worse, violation of the order. Thus, birthlessness of the universe is revealed by these propagators of philosophies. So this school of thoughts that holds on to different theories that there is a creation, and this creation was originated at a certain point in a certain way, and it's somewhat real. Or even if they take it like Shankar, apparently real, but yet it says, but it was created, it was originated. So all of these theories are just helping us to further prove the birthlessness of this universe, the non-origination of the universe. Thank you for all of you, because you are proving that there is only Brahman, because your theories have so many flaws to them, that they just further prove the birthlessness of the universe. The well-known example of the seed and the tree or the sprout is yet to be proved. So the seed and the tree, this is yet to be proved. An example which is to be proved yet is not at all of use for establishing something which is real. So how can we prove that there is a relationship between cause and effect between the seed and the tree? He says so. I mean, thousands or millions of years have passed. Several civilizations came here, and nobody has established and proved this relationship of cause and effect between the seed and the tree. And says that an example which is yet to be proved is not at all of any use for establishing the reality of this relationship, meaning to say Prakriti and the universe. The universe was created by Prakriti, originated by Prakriti. Beautiful, huh? You enjoy it? Very few people enjoys this level of logic, especially when it's debunking, destroying the sense of reality of our very world. And a lot of people enjoy some sort of dry philosophical logics here and there, but those philosophies do not destroy the sense of reality which is attributed to this world by the very philosophers, arguing on different levels, on different fields of philosophy. Ignorance of the order is a pointer to birthlessness. Ignorance of the order of what came first is point to the fact that nothing was ever created, or birthlessness. How is it that the cause which exists before the creation and the originating entity is not known to you? How is that the cause? How is it that the cause which exists before the effect is not known to you? So give me an answer. So you don't know? What has caused Prakriti? He's just hammering at that. Nothing is born either of itself or of another. So one thing cannot give birth to itself, because that thing is already existing. So, and then nothing is born by another thing as well. Nothing is born, period. Whether it is existent, non-existence, or both existent and non-existent. So nothing is born, period. Regardless of being existent, non-existent, or even a combination of both. Regardless of being of the nature sat, asat, or a combination of both. Oh, no, exists sometimes, doesn't exist some other times. So, and sometimes is a combination of both. There is 50% of existence, 50% of non-existence, 28%, or whatever. So nothing is born is the final conclusion of Gaudapada. The last verse 23, before Swamiji helps us out a little bit here, cause is not born out of a beginningless effect. Because they say that Prakriti is beginningless and eternal. And the question is, what has caused Prakriti? So, cause is not born out of beginningless Prakriti. Effect is also not born out of a beginningless cause. Both are not born by themselves or neither with the help of one another. So they don't bring themselves into existence and they don't appear in existence due to a certain cause. And then whatever effect of that cause cannot again give birth to something else, which would be later on defined as another effect. For that which has no cause, has no birth, has no origination. So he's just again and again establishing that we can't really see reality to this world. In this portion from the verse 14th to the 23rd, as we have just seen, Gaudapada points out that even the theory of creation presented by the Vedas itself is ultimately not acceptable. This theory is called Vaidika Shristi Prakriya. Gaudapada himself is a Vaidika, so he respects the Vedas, okay? And he does not destroy or establish the Vedic being misleading or being of no value. So this theory of the Vaidika, the Vedic theory of creation, no? Gaudapada itself being a Vaidika, and his courage and boldness in saying that the very theory of creation given by the Vedas will not be accepted ultimately is to be appreciated, not judged. He had the boldness and courage to do that. What is widely accepted by the Hindus is to be refuted, and so should be understood in the proper perspective. Gaudapada's contention is that the Vedas have present this theory of creation only for a beginner during the Adhyaropa Prakriya. Adhyaropa refers to what is temporarily accepted, which has to be dropped later. The scaffoldings used to build a building have to be discarded once their purpose is served. So we are building some degree of understanding of the Mithya nature of the universe and the Satya nature of the Atma, the self. And in order to build that vision, that understanding, we need scaffoldings. We need a lot of tools. And in Vedanta, we use concepts as tools. So they are to be used and left behind once they do not serve any purpose anymore. They are not the ultimate teachings. They should be taken as Adhyaropa, and later on they should be left behind. What is the theory used in the Vedas to talk about the creation? It's called Karma Kariya Vada. So this is also very nice because when we look at the creation of the universe, and then we have to see, okay, so if Prakriti and Maya has really brought about all these jivas from the seed potential latent causal or Prakriti, or the causal universe, let's say, if he brought that from the invisible to visible, how did they brought everybody? He brought everybody according to the jivas, yeah, even the other beings. They brought them back into manifestation. The no manifest becomes the manifest. They bring them based on the karma. So a lot of the time, I found myself presenting this vision that karma is the force that holds this universe, the force that brings all the jivas over and over, and brings the universe from pralaya to laya, is the karma of all jivas, the vasanas of all jivas. Yeah? And here he's going to reject the theory that the karma is the propelling force that brings forth the universe. The law of karma is used to talk about creation in Vedanta. Whenever we talk about creation in our tradition, we introduce the law of karma, the law of punyam papam. How does the law of karma come into being is the question. What is the law of karma? Second question. First, we have seen that Brahman cannot be the cause for the creation, because Brahman does not have any raw material, and Brahman cannot change to become the raw material and the universe. Then the next question is, if Brahman itself cannot be the cause, why can't we say that Brahman with Maya Shakti and with the help, Maya Shakti and Ishvara, so we have these two entities, Maya and Ishvara, as the creator, which is the most common vision we present. So what creates the universe is a power called Maya, which provides Ishvara with the raw material. Which are the raw material? Just two energies, Rajas and Tamas. With this energy, he develops the basic 5 elements, and then the physical and the chemical elements. So, and then if Brahman cannot do that, we say, so no, we have to blame Maya, because Maya brought about Ishvara, and Ishvara played with Rajas and Tamas and produced an infinity of Namarupas to constitute the cosmos. Why can't we say that Brahman with Maya Shakti and Ishvara is the creator? Why can't you accept Ishvara, the creator of the world? Ishvara has the power of Maya, has the gunas, and the gunas will serve as raw material, and Ishvara, the intelligent, the supreme intelligence, creates the universe. It's a good theory. Yeah? It's the best theory. It's the one that we need in our Vedantic process. What is the difficulty in accepting this theory? For that, we discuss in Brahma Sutras. You see, the Brahma Sutras, they are just further analysis or explanations or commentaries on any and all subjects present in the Vedas, not only in the Upanishads, because this topic of creation is more relevant to the Vedic teachings, not to the Vedantic or the Upanishadic teachings. No? So, but the Brahma Sutras, they want to go deep, understanding or analyzing whatsoever theory presented by the Vedas. When you say that Ishvara is the creator of the world, a big question is raised. The question has to do with the creation not being uniform and rather having diversities. It's very different. Why Ishvara would create so much diversity? Why would Ishvara bring people just to suffer in this world? And why some other people would come just to enjoy material pleasures or even good spiritual punya? So how come if Maya Ishvara is going to create the plurality and diversity of Namarupas, in which the human Namarupas, human complex body, mind, sense complex are there. So why none of these jivas, human jivas, are the same? All of them are enjoy and suffering differently, you know. Some jivas are born as plants, some are born as animals, and some are born as human beings. So this is to begin with why some living creatures are born in the vegetal realm, in the animal, or the human one. Among human beings, some are born very weak and sick with terrible health, and some have are born also in a bad culture, in a bad nation, in a bad time, with all kinds of challenges. Different human beings are born with different favorable and unfavorable circumstances and situations. And there are periods such as Kali Yuga in which all jivas are sharing the same collective adversities of Kali Yuga. You know? So why did Ishvara create the universe with so much disparity is the question. How come some people have favorable circumstances from birth and some are suffering unfavorable circumstances? Why is Ishvara partial towards certain jivas and so cruel towards so many jivas? So we can make sense of all these questions that cross the mind of each one of us in this Vedantic process only by karma, the law of karma. Why there are so many millions? Because if we would really look into the situation in this planet, the large majority of human beings, they are not privileged like us here. You understand? They live in a lot of adverse conditions, poverty, sickness, cruelties, injustice, and suppressions, and so on. So the large majority of people on this planet, I mean, we think that, okay, now all is good, life is good. Why? Because I'm enjoying certain favorable circumstances here. I was born in a circumstantial good period of time. The post-Second World War, there was a time of growth and people were getting more prosperous, and the Industrial Revolution came, life became easier. So this is, we were there in the right point, in the process in which we are living better than even queens and princes and kings 400 years ago. So, but that is changing now, as we know. So we need to have the understanding that most people suffering a lot in this planet, a large majority, and then certain times a little bit better. But if we really look close with very objectively, we know that all the time there is war on this planet, there is suffering, there is destruction, there is cruelty, wars are all over. Nations are all the time either preparing for war or fighting wars or stimulating or wars in other nations for some. I mean, it's a tough place. There is so much suffering. So why sometimes we enjoy adversities and sometimes favorable circumstances to the extent that we believe, oh, all is good and it's going to be good forever. No, things change all the time. Things change all the time. Why did Ishvara create this universe with so many differences in time and within the same time, the same planet, the same culture, or so on? Some people are really suffering a lot of grief and psychological pain and so on, and others are not oppressed and they enjoy. So why so many difference? How come some people have so many advantages since they were born? So, and then we say Ishvara is favors some people and is cruel toward other jivas. So when we talk about Svaga and Naraka, why should some jivas be born as celestial? Now going to the other more esoteric level, some jivas are born in some celestial locus, And some jivas are going to be born in some inferior locus in which there is even more suffering than here. So why these jivas should enjoy this higher locus and suffer inferior locus? Why is Ishvara good to some and cruel to many others? This is a question discussed in Brahma Sutra. The answer given is that Ishvara does not create according to his personal wish. Ishvara is a system. He's going to just project or appearing to project a universe with all these jivas in which we're going to enjoy or suffer the fruits of our karmas. Ishvara only looks at the karma of every jiva. Whichever jiva has a lot of punya, the jiva will have favorable circumstance. And a lot of jivas loaded with papas will have unfavorable circumstance. And that brings other questions. Why there are so many people enjoy so much richness, millionaires and billionaires, and they are so cruel. They are so unfair, unjust. They are violating Dharma. That's why they accumulate billions and trillions. So why these people are still enjoying favorable circumstance if they are violating Dharma? No? So Ishvara is not responsible for all these difference and diversities in the creation. The law of karma or the actions of the jivas is what's going to define or produce difference. But it seems that difference is the very nature of this apparent reality, because as we know, the proverb say there are no two flakes of snow which are the same when we look into the microcosm. Creation explanation starts from Brahman, and Brahman does not have raw material. It passed by, okay, it's not Brahman, it's Ishvara. Oh, no, Ishvara, no, it's actually, we need to blame Mr. Maya, okay. And then it comes to the final Vedic theory that says karma. It's what determines all the diversity, all the pleasures and pains of all human creatures. Ishvara is fair and just. If there are differences in circumstance, these are due to the karmas of each jivas. Ishvara is only samanya karanam, and karma is vishesha karanam. So Ishvara is only samanyan karana, uma causa equanimate. Né? He calls the universe what it means to say Ishvara is not going to cause the difference. It creates everybody equally, but then the karmas of each one is going to create the difference. This theory of creation based on karma is called karma karyavada, which is a Vedic theory given by our scriptures, asserting that there is a creation, a srishti. Ishvara serves only as a judge or supervisor. I like the term that James used, a facilitator, a system. I use system more often than not. It's an intelligent, self-conscious computer that makes no mistake. And the cause of the birth and different circumstances due to individuals' karmas, vasanas, the nature of one's vasanas, which is the nature of the fruits of people's actions, karmas. Different jivas having different bodies is itself different because of karma. Everything is determined by karma according to this theory, which is the best theory, to my judgment, or my humble judgment. The next nature question is, how did the karma come? Now he starts just being not so happy with this theory. How did the karma come? So if the karma is the cause of this plurality and diversity of jivas experience the world in such a variety of different ways, and who gave punya and papa karma? It means to say, if karma was creating the world, no, what was what has created the original karma? Also, what is the original karma of every jiva? So who gave punya papa to the mula karma of every jiva? You understand? So who gave the punya papa of the original karma so that Ishwara distributes to all the jivas? If Ishwara distribute the punya and papa, Ishwara will be partial. Okay, so I have got here, and I have a certain amount of punya papa. I'm creating this universe, and karma is creating. So, and then, okay, but how so? What has created karma? So we're going to get there. But right now, is karma. Ishwara could not have begin a universe that is moved by karma, because he would have to establish who gets punya and who gets papan from the beginning. How could Jiva have given punya papa to itself? Okay, if in the beginning there was no punya papa, there were no vasanas. The theory is the creation, origination, yeah? Initiation. So the jivas were not there before to produce punya papa. Ishwara cannot give punya papa because he would be what? Partial. Yeah? And then now jiva must have given punya papa. It's impossible. Before the creation, there was just nothing. How could the jiva have given punya papa? At the time of his birth, when he was not even start doing any action, the body in the previous birth must have produced the current punya papa. This is karma theory, okay? The body, the jivatma in previous and previous and previous and previous, they go from birth to birth, yeah, with this load of karma. That's why sometimes I like to present our experience in this planet as an opportunity to further process karma, processing and refine our vasanas. Thus, karma shariram cycle keeps going. So karma is going to create the body, and the karma shariram and karma shariram cycle forever. So the karma is going to produce a new jiva. The new jiva is going to produce more karma. The karma is going to produce more jiva. Gaudapada said that this theory of creation based on karma can be accepted temporarily, and to my take is the best theory. Based on the law of karma, we do karma yoga and upasana yoga. Why we do what we do? Because we want to have an effect. The effect is what? Mental, emotional, and psychological health or purification, refinement, so that we can go and begin the process of inquiring into the nature of this material world until we understand that consciousness, I am the only reality. So we do karma, we do upasana. Gaudapada says that when you come to Vedanta, you should start questioning this theory as well. He says that this theory of creation will also have several logical fallacies. So this theory has to be rejected. I am sorry, and this is something that most people cannot take unless they are more mature Vedantins. The law of karma also cannot explain the creation. Then how did the creation come about? The answer is simple: it never came. If it never came, then what is it? It is a projection or a reflection available as an appearance and experience. And within the experience of this appearance, we can develop, which is, by the way, very intelligently structured based on these very laws of karma, which does not prove the reality, it does not prove the creation, origination of the universe, but it's beautifully, intelligently structured in such a way that we see this appearance, we can have experiences, and these experiences need to be converted into knowledge, understanding, into growth and development, in a way that we can later on go into the Upanishad teachings that not only are going to say the creation is Mithya creation, it was never beginning, it was never originate, it's available for appearance and experience. And you as well, as a body, mind, sense complex, you are just part of this appearance. You are not really real as matter and energy. As a spirit, you are the only reality. So you, within this appearance, have the opportunity to develop certain apparent conditions or qualifications, so that once you are apparent qualified, you will be able to move into the Vedantic self-inquiry and come at the very end out of samsara with the clear understanding that this world, which includes my body, mind, sense complex, does not really exist. It's not really real, but it's available for experience and appearance. And within the realm of appearance and experience, I can get the knowledge of I, the spirit of this body, mind, sense complex is the only reality. Therefore, I'm out of the projection. I'm no longer identified as a Mithya body, mind, sense complex, limited by the laws and rules and principles, which is all based on cause and effect, karma and results of karmas. Once one can never talk about chronological step-by-step creation. Modern cosmologists are not able to explain the creation as well. The current M theory, do you know this M theory? I'm going to see if I find out. The current M theory predicts parallel universe, and each one of them having its laws and principles. So, very nice, huh? Gaudapada wishes to show what the logical fallacies are with karma, karya, vada. One should be circumspect about these points with people who are not mature enough, properly exposed to the teachings of Upanishads or new Vedanti. Never bring these teachings to people who are not prepared. Gaudapada suggests 6 possibilities of explaining karma, karya, vada, and then refuse each one of them by showing that they are not logically acceptable, since all the 6 possibilities are refuted. Therefore, karma, karya, vada is not tenable. Very nice, huh? I enjoy it. It helps us to hold the vision again and again that we are the only reality. I mean, the main focus here is not to say, oh, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real, but it's like, I am real, I am real, I am real, but I'm not the body, mind, sense complex. I am consciousness, I'm the only reality. All of Jesus just superimposed upon I, Sachitananda, I, Brahman, I, consciousness, I, Turiya. Right? This is the purpose of all of this, is only that, to establish our nature, our identity in Satya, which is the only reality. Okie dokie. We meet again next Friday with the Gita, huh? Yeah, the Gita. We go back to Gita. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste. Thank you, my friends.
Thanks so much, Orlando.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Arlindo. Great stuff.
Thank you. Glad you
It's
enjoyed.
fun. It is great fun.
A great fun. Yeah, I'm glad because not most people do not enjoy this level of Vedanta. You know, I mean, you don't find much of it.
I
Except,
think when you blow it all up, you feel so light. You know, blow it up.
yeah. Namaste.
Namaste.